Let's go back to one of our top stories, which is the nullification of the Bayelsa Governorship Election by the Election Petitions Tribunal. And I have joining me via Zoom, a lawyer, Matthias Emeribe. It's good to have you join us at this time to discuss this topical issue. There has been a major uproar in the political landscape in Bayelsa State following yesterday's judgment. But the governor has appealed the outcome. What exactly are the grounds of this judgment that have been of interest to you?
Well, thank you very much for inviting me. Let me say with the greatest respect that, well, the good thing about our jurisprudence is that it is meant to resolve issues rather than to create crisis, as it were. But in view of the fact that that is the only means by which we can have civility, that is why at all material time we must resort to it for purpose of settling disputes between parties. Now, we are happy that the tribunal has at last given its verdict. In fact, there were about 5 matters. Eventually, this is the only one of the ANDP that actually, gave rise to the nullification of the election, asking that a rerun be done within 90 days. But I want to say, with the greatest respect, that there are quite a number of constitutional issues that appears to have arisen by virtue of this judgment. And I will just simply put it, state them in seriatim. 1, the issue of whether the action by ANDP is a pre-election matter or is an election matter will need to be determined. It's a constitutional matter. Number 2 is whether the tribunal in question, at the time they gave the judgment, they were still seized with jurisdiction to actually hear the matter. In other words, the law, okay, that is number 2. Number 3 is whether the process that was filed by ANDP were filed within time to confer jurisdiction on the tribunal. Number 4 is whether one can say with the greatest respect that the parties that were sued or that were brought before the court, talking about the current serving governor of Bayelsa State and his deputy, are people that can be sued in the circumstance of the case, as it were. Now, in taking them one after the other, and then the final one will be the dissenting judgment as given by the chairman of the tribunal, which of course talks about the issue of, the candidate of the ANP not properly nominated for purposes of talking about his being excluded from the election. Now, in taking it one after the other, the first one that I mentioned, which is the issue of whether it is a pre or a post-election matter, that is an issue that the court must first determine. Because if it is a pre-election matter, the question is that at what point did the problem arise? That problem in question, when INEC on the 27th of September 2019 stated clearly that, look, we are not going to put you in the ballot. And then they went ahead to subsequently publish the only names that will be contesting for the election. That was when the issue were joined with the NBB, which of course entitles them at that material time to approach the court. But if they didn't do that, and because they were supposed to do within 14 days as provided under the Constitution, under Section 285, subsection 14 of the Constitution. And unfortunately, this is an action that is being filed on the 26th of February 2020. It is far away from the time as required by the Constitution if it's a pre-election matter. Now, if it is an election matter proper, as it were, now the question you ask yourself, the election took place on the 16th of November. The declaration of result was done on the 17th of November, 2019. Now, why was the action not filed as soon as the declaration was made, as it were?
That's a question. Of course, that's a question a lot of persons will be answering in the coming days, but I'm afraid we're pressed for time, Mr. Matthias Emeribe. Of course, this is a discussion that we could go on and on to discuss the intricacies of the judgment and what will happen in Bayelsa State in the coming days. Of course, the governor has gone to appeal this case. We'll get to know what happens next.